channel. It's a girl blessing again. Thank you very much for stopping by. To my returning subscribers, I'm glad you stopped by again, and I'm grateful for your engagement on this channel. If you're visiting my channel for the first time or seeing this face for the first time and you haven't, I'm so happy that you're here. Please do well to like this video if it interests you, and subscribe to my channel for more. Thank you very much as you support this girl grow. Right, today's video is about the movie called When Life Goes Boom. It's on Temitope Sam Adigun's YouTube channel. Little one says boom boom boom. Please ignore her voice. Unfortunately, I can't do it at the moment. I've been trying to get a time and a long time to do this video, but it doesn't seem to happen, so we have to incorporate it somehow. Right, let's dive into our story. So the title for today's story is When Life Goes Boom. It's a Christian movie on Temitope Sam Adigun's channel on YouTube. Do well to visit the channel and watch the movie for yourself if you have the time. It's in 3 parts. But the story is about a young girl whom wasn't doing so well when she was in school, secondary school age. She wasn't doing so well in school, and her parents were really worried for her. But this girl, they had a help in her house, and the house help, that's the, well, like I don't want to use the word house help for the word because it's a mature woman. I would say the housekeeper. The housekeeper has a son who is actually older than this girl, and this housekeeper's son does so well in school. He always comes top of his class. So the girl's parents, who were this woman's boss, they were like, what on earth is happening to their own child? How is it that their child, who has everything she wants, because they are rich, they can afford to give her whatever she wants, and they send her to a good school. I think they pay for extra curricular lessons for her, but then she still doesn't do well in school. When her results come back, it's always like bad grades. So they were wondering what's happening. Why is it that the housekeeper's son is doing well? The housekeeper barely has enough money for herself. I said obviously for the salary they pay her, she doesn't have any other source of living, right? She's a widow, so she can't afford to give her son the best life, but her son does well. So you see, they were trying to weigh what could happen. Then they came up with an idea to ask the housekeeper's son to tutor their daughter. Now, I'll give us the names of these characters so it helps me with the story. So the housekeeper's son is called Tobechukwu, while the rich people's daughter is called Nora. So they started to speak to Tobe's mom, that's the housekeeper, to let her son Tobechukwu teach Nora after school. And in return, they were going to train Tobechukwu, see Tobechukwu through university. You understand? You know, that's like the reward for teaching Nora. But that's if Nora does well. If they see an evidence of Tobe's efforts on Nora. So the housekeeper was so happy because, I mean, it's not easy for someone to talk about supporting you. Talk more of training your child, seeing your child through school, no matter what course he wants to study. So she was so glad, and then she told Tobe about it. They agreed, and Tobe started teaching Nora, and there was improvement. But then these 2 young children, while Tobe was teaching Nora, when he goes home to his mom, he always tells his mom, like, throws one compliment or the other about Nora to the mom. He just be like, that girl is so pretty, I like her. The mom will be like, as small as you are, you're noticing who is fine and who is not fine. Focus on what you were sent there to do. Just teach her. You're too small to be thinking about the woman's beauty and all. So the boy was like, it's just a harmless admiration, you know. So eventually, Tobe wrote his WAEC, passed with good grades. Wrote JAM, passed. So the mom's bosses were so happy and rejoiced with them, and then they kept to their bargain because they've also seen improvement on Nora studies. So they kept to their bargain, and they enrolled to beach school. And I won't say enroll. You know how the Nigerian system works. To be applied for university, got admission to study medicine, and the bosses were willing to go ahead with the promise of paying his school fees. So they started training Tobe to study medicine. But even as Tobe entered school, they actually put him in a private university. That's one thing. They were willing to put him in a private university. It was costing them a lot of money, but they were willing to do it because they were happy that he had supported their daughter, and they were seeing some improvements. So even though Tobe had gone to school now, he had to live in school, he was still tutoring Nora over the phone. So they used to have like Zoom sessions where he was still teaching her, and Nora used to call him Teacher Tobichukwu. So the friendship between these two children grew, and then it remained like that until they became full adults. When it was Nora's time to write her WAEC, she wrote and passed with good grades, and the parents were so proud of her, and then they decided to send her abroad to study. She was sad because she was going to leave the beach school. She was going to miss her teacher to beach school, and then they wanted her to do something else. Her parents wanted her to study something else that wasn't what she wanted, and then she wanted to study mass communication, but the parents wanted her to do something about business. So that was the first thing she wasn't happy about. But then she had to just go abroad, you know, to even encourage her. You're lucky. You have parents that won't send you abroad. Mama, just take the opportunity to go, no problem. And the course asking you to study is not a pardon as well. Just do it. So Nora eventually traveled abroad and studied. But they still kept in touch, yeah? She got in touch with Temitope. So their friendship, like, it kept growing more. It was just growing. They were not dating, yeah? But they were good friends. The relationship grew that close to each other. They were so close to each other. They were good friends, and then they became full-blown adults, and still didn't start dating. They were just good friends. But you know, this kind of friend that you know, I like that. I have the feelings I have for this person is way more than just being a friend. But then they were trying to hold themselves back because we don't know what the parents would say. We don't know what these several distractions, right? So when Nora finished, because the 4 years course, Nora graduated and came back. Tobe was still studying medicine in Nigeria, and they continued their friendship, and it was obvious that Tobe was still like interested in the girl, and he was telling his mom, I'm going to go for this Nora girl. After all, I'm still going to be a doctor, so it's not like I'm still just the housekeeper's child. Now I'm gonna be a doctor, so I have a profession to my name. So there shouldn't be any reason for anybody not to let me, you know, go ahead with the girl. And the girl on her own end also liked Tobe and was willing to kind of even accept Tobe's proposal is Tobe should ask her out. So I think somehow they had that discussion about how they feel about each other, and Nora confirmed to Tobe that she has the same feeling as he does for her. But here comes the twist. Nora's parents already prepared the husband for Nora. They wanted Nora to get married to a business partner's son to increase their business bond. Nigerian parents. Anyway, I've not seen anyone. I've not seen it in real life. It's always a movie that I see where all this kind of arrangement. Anyway, you want to use your child and increase this business bond. Is your child the financial or whatever item that is going to increase your business bond? Or what if they marry and the marriage goes south? Will your business bond break? I say make I ask. So, they wanted her to marry that guy because of business bond. And she says, no, I can't marry the guy you're suggesting because I don't know him. Moreover, I have someone else. I have someone I love and I'm willing to get married to. And then we were like, who could that be? Do you know who we're presenting to you? He's now the CEO of the company. He's taking after his father. This, that one. And do you know how it's going to help boost our own company? Blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, I don't know. I want to get married to my teacher, Tobechuku. He's the one I like. And they were like, no way. You're not getting married to Tobe. No way. You're getting married to this guy. And then she was like, why? Why do I have to just get married to somebody? I don't know. And then they were like, her birthday is even in a few days' time. That the guy is coming with his parents for the engagement. And she's like, you already planned up to the extent of engagement behind my back. Like, I don't understand. Then that's when they started calling her like ungrateful child. So this is the first time they're asking you for a favor and you're not going to grant it. And started telling that was for the first time they told her she was actually adopted. Emotional blackmail. This is a child that you've nursed from day zero. Because from the story they told, they actually took her from her mom on the day she was born. So practically bettered this child. Even if you are not the mom or not the actual dad, you've had this child from the day she was 1 day old, and then she was going to turn 23 for the birthday ceremony. And then you never mentioned to her she was adopted, but just because she refused to marry who you wanted her to marry, you brought up the game of you were adopted. I've looked after you for all these years, and the very first time I'm asking you for a favor, you want to turn it down. Like, are you such an ungrateful child? You see, emotional blackmail. Why would you do that to a child? So because of this story, she kind of unwillingly decided to yield to their request by letting the guy come for the engagement. Anyway, it's not like she had a choice. They already made their plans. So on the said birthday, the business partner guy, came with his parents and engaged Nora. She wasn't happy, but it's more like she didn't have a choice. I'm sure it was because of the story behind her birth and how they've raised her, and then she was seeing it as per the only way she could repay them, because that's what they made it look like. Innocent Tobe came on that same day to wish happy birthday, but they won't let Tobe in. They won't let Tobe into the compound. The gate man pushed Tobe out and said it was an instruction from the boss. And that was how Tobe lost contact with Nora. He tried to communicate with Nora, called her several. Nora wouldn't pick his call. She didn't make any attempt to explain. At least she would have explained to Tobe what was on ground, what happened, how she didn't have a choice. I'm sure if she did that, maybe Tobe would have found the reason to, let go. But she just blacked out. She blocked him. She just blocked him out. She didn't explain nothing to him. She didn't say anything to him. She just continued with this guy. And Tobe's mom, obviously, is a housekeeper, so she went home and told Tobe, see the Nora you say you want to marry. Another man has engaged her, and she said yes. I was there. So that was how their relationship, their little love story ended. But Nora's misery started. After the engagement, Nora was told the wedding is just in 2 weeks time. And she was like, what? Which wedding is in 2 weeks? Like, I don't understand. I'm actually being a guest to my own wedding. Like, the engagement was impromptu. Now the wedding actually is impromptu. So she's practically not the one getting married. She's just a guest in the marriage. You understand? Like, nobody is seeking her opinion or telling her anything. On the day of their court wedding, after the court wedding had been finalized, she went home with the guy to see his house for the first time, and then some girl came to see the guy, and from the way the girl talked, you would know that the girl had something with that guy, but we didn't know what. So the guy tried dismissing the girl and excused Nora to go talk to the girl. That was when Nora saw an envelope on the wall. She was just looking around the house, saw the envelope, opened it to see what was the content. Lo and behold, it was a HIV test result. The so-called business guy had AIDS. So his HIV has developed into AIDS, so it was a full-blown AIDS. And this guy had never mentioned it in the few days they've known each other. He never mentioned it, that he had such a disease. So she was now thinking, what's this guy's plan? You have a test result showing that you are AIDS positive, and you're not telling me you're coming to marry me. What's the plan? She wept. She just cried, like, just like what her parents have pushed her into. Well, she took the test results, kept quiet, acted like nothing happened. She just saved the result. 2 weeks came. They went to do the wedding. She kept quiet, but she never let the guy touch her. Even before the wedding, the guy was just making moves, and she just kept saying, "You have to just wait for us to get married. I'm a child of God. I can't do any of those things with you until we are actually married." So when they got married, she still wouldn't let the guy touch her. So the guy got frustrated and started making a fuss. But like guys, let me not even say guys, human beings, like now tuna. How do you know? How on earth do you know that you have HIV or you have AIDS, and you want to marry an innocent girl and sleep with her so that you can infect her, or what? She's not even aware, and you are getting angry that she does not want you to sleep with her when you know that you are sick. Like, is that not wickedness? But anyway, he got frustrated and got his parents involved. And his parents, without even asking questions, just went to the girl's house, called for meeting. And they started making noise. That blah blah blah. Why will your daughter be treating my son anyhow in his house? Why would she not allow their marriage to be consummated? This one, that one, just talking plenty. And the girl just brought out the test results. I was like, ask your son. No, before she brought it out, she was like, ask your son if he has anything to tell me. And then the guy was like, what are you talking about? I don't have anything to say to you. And then she says, are you sick? The guy sees it and it, and she now put out the test results to show proof that he was actually sick, and he was sick with AIDS. So that was when everybody got dumbfounded. And the guy now said he's sorry. He just wanted, because he's an only child, he just wanted an heir. Like, he wanted an heir with HIV, but it's not like he's even taking his judge that he would say, okay, he's what do you call it? What's the word? I don't know what the word is anymore. When if you have someone that has HIV, there's a way you take your medications, and then the stuff gets depressed, like the whatever virus gets suppressed, that you cannot even infect somebody. Yeah, it's not like it was that case, but even that was the case, you need to still tell your partner, But that was not even his case. So how come you just want an heir? So the girl got mad. The girl's parents were like, oh, no, 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 that won't stand. You can't do this to our daughter. The marriage is not gonna, we can't continue with it. How on earth do you have this and you didn't want to tell our child? You didn't even inform us. And you want to infect our child. You want to kill her for us. This one, that one, down. But it was already too late somehow. It was already too late. So they said the marriage won't hold. The girl has to come back. And the girl said, no, people say I should marry him back. I've already married him. I'm going to stay with him like that. So she was angry. So she refused to leave the guy. She didn't want to come back to her parents. And she said to leave with the guy. But then she just had this resentment for the guy. She didn't talk to him. Didn't sleep on the same bed. Didn't eat with the same plate or spoon or cup. Like, she just separated everything. You know? She was like dying slowly. They did that for some time until she sought for counsel for somebody that Tobechukwu introduced her to a pastor. That was a female pastor who's also a psychologist. And the pastor kind of counseled her and told her that the guy is genuinely sorry, and she decided to stay with him. No one forced her to stay because she could actually leave the marriage. That kind of marriage is considered invalid. For me, it's invalid. Sure, for the church, it's invalid, yeah. But she decided to stay. So if she decided to stay with that guy, then she needs to actually show that she was a Christian by embracing him. By that I mean she extending the hand of love to him. Who knows? Maybe she's even in his life for a reason. Lead him to Christ, make him know God, pray together with him, encourage him. Since he decided to stay, yeah. And this was what she started doing. And she helped the guy, led the guy to Christ. They started praying together. So they practically started living in peace, but they never had any intimacy. And the guy was okay with that at the point, because obviously, you know what you did. At this point, he cannot even hide it again. He knew what he did, and he had to live with it like that. So I don't know if you can still hear me. I think this looks like my voice is going down. So 2 years after this whole thing, the guy died. By this time, Tobechukwu was already working as a doctor where he was, trying to get him a new relationship, but deep down he still cared for Nora, angry with her for what she did to him, but he couldn't just bring himself to love someone else. After so much talk and encouragement from his mom, he said, okay, dates one girl whom he had always known from school, who's also a doctor, and she works in the same hospital as the girl. So they started a relationship, and then boom, they ran into each other. Tobechukwu and Nora ran into each other. So it was like they reopened the old wound. How did they run into each other? Nora went to look for her real mom. Okay, she went to look for her real mom. So she got the address of the village where she was born, and she went in search of her mom. Unfortunately for her, by the time she got there and she was told the story of her mom, it happened that her mom actually died a day after giving birth to her. So her mom was mentally ill. That was why the chief, that's the people she knows as her parents, that was why they took her from the lady, because she was not in a good mental state to look after the child. That was why they took the child from the woman. So when she went in search of the mom, the midwife told her that the woman died like the next day after giving birth to her, right? So the mom didn't make it, so she didn't meet her mom, but she met Tobechukwu's girlfriend, because she got injured, got to the hospital for treatment. It was the girl that treated her. It was even the girl that took her to the midwife that told her the story about her mom. So she was Tobechiko's girlfriend said when Tobechiko came to propose to his girlfriend, and the person he saw was Nora. So that's how Tobechiko ended up not engaging his girlfriend, because the old hood he had resurfaced. He couldn't go ahead with the girlfriend. He had to sort his shit out with Nora. The girlfriend understood, because you know when you're with a guy and you know that his heart is not fully with you, I mean, as a good child of God, that is a good person, right? It's not easy, but I think the best thing is to let go, because there's no point trying to hold on to a man that doesn't want to hold on to you. A man that doesn't, that is not fully into you, you can sense it from his actions, from his words, from all that he does, that this guy's heart is with someone else. And you may not know who, but like he's giving you that vibe of you are a second option. The best thing is to what? Let go of him. Let him go. So that's what the girl did. She's always saying that Tobechiko has something for some, like he's always withdrawn. He doesn't do a lot of things with her. He barely says I love you too when she says I love you. He just says okay, thank you. Like, what's that? So when she heard about Nora, and you found out, oh, it was even this Nora that she helped, that is Tobechiko's love, she just knew that there's no need to continue to fight for Tobe, because obviously Tobe will leave her for the Nora, and that was what happened. And so she broke up with Tobe and even took Tobe to Nora and asked them to sort their differences out. She doesn't have an issue with them. She doesn't have an issue with Nora, because Nora didn't come to like snatch Tobe from her, but she just knows that Tobe is not hers. So Tobe decided to, at first he was angry until he heard Nora's story. He heard how for the very first time, in the midst of all this chaos, he actually heard what happened. How Nora was like forced into that marriage, and how she discovered the guy was infected, and she has lived 2 years of that marriage in misery, somehow not being happily married. So he had compassion for her and decided to help her heal. Encourage her to continue her therapy sessions to heal completely, and he was willing to date her again. Now as a full doctor. And the love story began again. These two lovebirds eventually got married. Yeah, the two lovebirds eventually got married, and that was the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story, please let me know in the comment section. If you have any movie that you would like me to watch and narrate, maybe you've heard the name and you feel like this movie, there might be lessons to learn from it, and you want me to watch it and come share the lessons with you, I'm all ears. Let me know in the comment section, and I'm going to try and do justice to that. Okay, thank you very much for stopping by once more, and I hope to see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Okay, see you next time. Bye.